Hey, YouTube, welcome back to Patriot Prepper channel, your ultimate guide to surviving whatever life throws at us. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest survival tips or strategies. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most terrifying scenarios imaginable: nuclear war. If the U.S. was targeted, what would it look like? And more importantly, what would you need to do to survive? This is a serious topic, so stick with me as I break it all down.
With you. I know you're covering the situation in Europe closely.
Normal programming has been interrupted at the request of the U.S. government. Everyone receiving this broadcast should pay close attention. The information contained in this broadcast is vital to your safety. Please stand by.
The emergency alert system has been activated. This is a national emergency. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. Important instructions vital to your safety will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. The United States has been subjected to a nuclear attack. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 12 nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. 4 of the 12 missiles launched have been intercepted. The 8 remaining nuclear missiles will strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes: Los Angeles, San Diego, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Within a 300-mile radius of these areas, everyone should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. Nuclear fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks, and prolonged exposure to it will almost certainly kill you. If a nearby area has been designated as a fallout shelter, get there right away. Otherwise, seek refuge on the lowest floor of a sturdy building's interior. Make sure you have enough food, drink, and a battery-operated radio. Wait until the all-clear has been given before leaving the fallout shelter. Do not use your telephone. The lines should be kept open in case of an emergency. Tune into a station that is serving your area for more information. The President will address the nation on all radio and television stations shortly. Stand by for this message. This is a national emergency.
So let's say you was at your house enjoying your weekend, about to put some burgers on the grill, enjoy a nice cold beer when that alert came on. Well, first of all, your weekend just went to shit. So the reality of a nuclear attack. Let's start off by facing the grim reality. If a nuclear war was to happen, the impact would be so catastrophic. But understanding what could happen is the first step to preparing for it. So what would it look like if the U.S. was targeted? The most likely targets of a nuclear attack would be major cities, military installations, key infrastructure like power plants, communication hubs. These areas would be hit first and the hardest. The immediate effects would include intense heat, a massive shock wave, and dangerous level of radiation. In the immediate vicinity of this blast, everything within a certain radius would be vaporized. Beyond that, the shock wave would cause widespread destruction, buildings flattened, fires spreading out uncontrollably, and then there's fallout. The radiation particles thrown up into atmosphere, descending down like invisible poison. But the devastation does not end with the blast. The aftermath is what comes after. This is where your survival skills become critical. Let's talk about what you need to do to increase your chances of surviving the short and long term.
favorite cowgirl?
Is it your thumb or mine?
It's smoke, Jenny. It's just a fire.
So the immediate survival, the first 24 hours. If you find yourself in the vicinity of a nuclear explosion, the first 24 hours are the most crucial. Here's what you need to do. One, seek shelter immediately.
Everyone should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. Nuclear.
As soon as you hear the warning sirens and see the flash of a nuclear explosion, your priority is to find shelter immediately. The best protection is a solid structure. The thicker, the denser, the better. Basements, underground bunkers, and interior rooms away from windows is going to be your best bet. If you can't find a dedicated fallout shelter, a basement, or the center of a large building will offer some protection from radiation. Time is of the essence. Every second counts. The goal is to put as much dense material, concrete, brick, or shit, even earth, between you and the radiation as possible. If you're caught outside with no shelter nearby, lie flat down on the ground, cover your head, and stay down until the shock waves passes. Next, so avoid fallout. Fallout is the radioactive debris that settles after a nuclear explosion. It could travel hundreds of miles, carried by the wind, and deadly if inhaled or ingested. Once you found shelter, stay inside and seal any cracks or openings to prevent radioactive dust from entering. Fallout is most dangerous in the first 2 weeks after a blast. The radiation levels are extremely high during this period. Use duct tape and plastic sheetings to seal doors, windows, vents, turn off any kind of systems that can bring outside air into your shelter. You want to create a sealed environment as best as possible. And if you do have a radiation meter or a Geiger counter, keep it handy and monitor the radiation levels. Communication is the key. Use a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio to listen for emergency broadcasts. This will provide you critical information about the extent of attack, safe zones, and when it might be possible or safe to leave your shelter. The rule of thumb is to stay sheltered for at least 24 hours, but depending on radiation levels, you might need to stay for several days, up to 2 weeks. If you have potassium iodide tablets, take them to protect your thyroid from radioactive iodine. So let's talk short-term survival. So like the first 2 weeks. Surviving the initial blast and fallout is just the beginning. The next 2 weeks will determine your long-term survival. Here's what you need to focus on. So rationing supplies. Your food and water is your lifeline. You should have enough non-perishable food and clean water to last you at least 2 weeks. Ration your supplies carefully. You never know how long it's going to be before it's safe to move or help arrives. Remember, the average person needs at least 1 gallon of water per day for drinking and basic hygiene. In a survival situation, you might have to make do with less, so plan accordingly. And don't forget, you'll need to replace any contaminated water source with purified water or water from sealed containers. So finding clean water and food. Water sources may be contaminated with radioactive particles, so it's crucial to know how to find and purify water. Rainwater collected after initial fallout may be safe, but always use a radiation detector to check. Avoid rivers, lakes, streams that have been contaminated. Food should be from sealed packages or cans. Any exposed crops or livestock may be unsafe to consume. Decontamination. So if you or your supplies have been exposed to fallout, decontamination is critical. Remove the outer layers of your clothing and wash your skin thoroughly with soap and water. Scrub any exposed gear or supplies to remove radioactive particles also. Sanitation and hygiene. Sanitation is often overlooked, but it's crucial during a survival situation. Without the proper waste disposal, you could be dealing with disease on top of everything else. Set up a basic sanitation system using plastic bags, buckets, and some form of disinfectant. If you have baby wipes or hand sanitizers, use them to conserve water. Keeping your living areas as clean as possible will prevent illness during this critical time. So next, we're talking about radiation monitoring and exposure. Radiation levels will decrease over time, but it is essential to monitor them regularly. A Geiger counter or a radiation detector can help you determine when it's safe to venture outside, but with the proper gear. Remember, the 3 key principles to radiation protection is time, distance, and shielding. Limit your time exposed to radiation. Keep as much distance as possible from any type of radioactive sources, and use solid barriers to protect yourself. Long-term survival, the months and years ahead. Surviving the first few weeks is just the beginning. If nuclear war has occurred on a global scale, long-term survival will be very challenging, but not impossible. Let's talk about what comes next. So rebuilding and being self-sufficient. Once it's safe to emerge from your shelter, the focus is shift to rebuilding and self-sufficiency. Growing your own food will become essential. Start with quick-growing crops that can thrive in your region's climate and soil conditions. Rebuilding communities will be key for long-term survival. Skills like farming, medicine, carpentry will be an invaluable skill. Bartering may be replaced by traditional currency, so consider what skills and items you have to offer in exchange for what you need. Next will be community and defense. So banding together with trusted, like-minded individuals is crucial for survival. A small, close-knit community can share resources, skills, and provide security. Have a plan for defense to protect your group and supplies from potential threats. Health and mental resilience. Medical care will be scarce, so knowing how to treat injuries and illnesses with basic supplies is crucial. Stock up on first aid kits, antibiotics, and any kind of necessary medications you might need. And let's not forget about mental health. The psychological toll of surviving a nuclear war can be immense. Staying focused on daily tasks, maintaining a sense of purpose, and staying connected with others will be vital to keep your sanity intact. Next, adapting to the new environment. The environment will be drastically different. Nuclear winter, if it occurs, could lead to longer, harsher winters, shorter growing seasons. Learn how to adapt by gathering knowledge about your new environment. Understand what wildlife and plants are safe, and finding alternative food sources. Surviving isn't just about enduring. It's about adapting and thriving in a new world. Those who can learn, adapt, and work with others will have the best chance of building a future, even after such a devastating event. So in conclusion, nuclear war is one of the most terrifying scenarios we can imagine. But with the knowledge, preparation, and strong will to survive, it is possible to make it through. Remember, the key to survival is preparation, both mentally and physically. Surviving a nuclear attack and the fallout is no small feat, but with the right preparation, knowledge, mindset, it is possible. Remember, preparation is the key. Stock up on supplies, plan your escape routes, educate yourself and your family on what to do in a nuclear event. So thank you for joining me today on Patriot Prepper. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, comment, and share. Thanks again. Patriot Prepper out.
They call me a god.